What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so one of the bigger stories during this off season of the NBA was the announcement that none other than Michael Jordan, by near acclamation, the greatest player the game has ever seen, would be added as a, quote, special contributor to NBC Sports as the NBA returns to NBC. Of course, famously, from 1990 to 2002, the NBA on NBC was a smashing success. It's considered one of the golden eras of the NBA. I would also include the NBA on CBS during the late 70s and throughout the 80s is also the golden era of NBA basketball. That era was more associated, of course, with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and Dr. J and Isaiah Thomas. The 90s, of course, was more associated with Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Shaquille O'Neal, a young Shaq, and many other stars, Reggie Miller, and the list goes on and on. So it makes sense for Michael Jordan to return as a special contributor as the NBA on NBC returns, considering his dominance during that era back in the 90s. But there's still been questions about exactly what his role would be. We heard some speculation that it's going to be taped segments and that he'd be giving his opinion on the game in some way. But Chris Collinsworth, former NFL wide receiver and a analyst, I believe, with NBC on the NFL on NBC or whatever it's called. I think it's NFL Countdown or NFL Sunday Night Football or Sunday Night, whatever it's called. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Chris Collinsworth recently spilled the beans, at least as far as what he has heard about what Michael Jordan's role will be in this capacity. And he was on the podcast, I think it's called Up and Adams. And she asked him about it, and this is what he had to say.
How involved is Michael Jordan going to be? What do you know? Give me Tariqo's doing his thing. It starts next week, I believe. NBA back on NBC. Give me the scoop. What do you know?
Man, I'm going to get shot for some of this. I'm sure it's all a big surprise, but he will be. It will be a deep dive into the brain of Michael Jordan. Is that enough of a tease without giving away anything?
Into the brain? I would like.
Yes.
Okay.
Like the things that you would really want to know from Michael Jordan. If you got a chance to sit down and just have a conversation with Michael Jordan, no cameras, just a couple of glasses of wine and just enjoy a great conversation about all the things that you knew about him or thought you knew about him from watching the series, and the whole thing like that. You're going to get that. Plus, you're going to get a very focused, not, Michael, who do you think the best player in the NBA is? It's not that stuff. It's like details way inside the brain of the greatest basketball player that ever lived.
Got it. So it sounds like it's not going to be live action. It's going to be like a feature. We'll have features, little moments.
I'm acting like I know what I'm talking
You do.
about.
I know
just
you
know
do.
little bits and pieces of it. I think there'll be bits and pieces of both. I think you'll get very much the Michael experience. And he's fantastic. He's one of the great, how do you say this? He busts chops better than anybody I have ever known. I wish I could tell you, the first time I walked up to him and said hello, he went, bam, 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 just like that. I mean, 3 shots right across the mouth. It was laughing. I can't say. I honestly, I cannot say. But he was a Bengals fan. Hey, you have something in common if you ever meet him.
Oh, I am. Michael Jordan and I have a lot in common, of course. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
What do you mean he's a Bengals fan? What?
Yes. So I was sitting there. It was great. So we're at NBC, and we just played his golf course. And so we're there, and Michael was there, and all the brass from NBC is, literally begging him to try and come work for NBC. So I went up and just sat down. Well, another one of my bosses came along. I won't say who. John, but he came by and he was like, Chris, we've got a table for you down here. And I was like, oh, okay. You don't want me to sit with okay, no problem. So I get up and I walk down to the table. As soon as I walked away, apparently Michael said to the group, I grew up a Bengals fan back in that era, and we used to watch them all the time. So now my friend had to come back and say, hey, we really want you to come back here with Michael's tale. I almost said, nope, can't do it. Can't make it. Sorry, not me. Can't do it.
Okay, so you heard that. I get the impression that basically what they're going to do is, first of all, I think this segment is going to be more nostalgia based. This is a segment that's going to be more for people like myself. I do think they're going to probably ask them some things about today's game, but I think this segment is more for the nostalgia for people of my generation, baby boomers and generation, what are we, Generation X? Well, not necessarily baby boomers, but maybe some baby boomers grew up, but more Generation X and the, I guess, the earlier millennials, which I'm kind of like in the edge of millennials. It's more for us rather than the younger basketball fans. That's pretty much what I think they're doing. You know how like, and this is like I said, this is just my opinion. You know how like basically ESPN now just caters to the younger fan base. I think with this is more for us, and they see what goes on social media. They know that Michael Jordan has an enormous fan base that tends to be a little bit older. I think that some of the topics they're talking about is going to be more, not always going to be basketball, but going to be stuff that they think we're going to be interested in. And they're going to ask him his opinion on things, maybe even about, I don't know, culture related stuff that he never has talked about before. Because, you know, when Michael Jordan actually played the game of basketball, he didn't really sit down and do a lot of interviews. I mean, he did do some stuff. He did sit down and talk to, I remember he did an interview with Arsenio Hall, and I think during his second comeback, well, his first comeback, excuse me, I think he did an interview with Oprah. But generally speaking, as far as his getting to know Michael Jordan, there's still a lot of mystique behind him. There's still a lot of mystery. So I think that's kind of what they're going to be doing. More or less, you know. But yeah, I still don't think that we got all the answers about what he's going to be doing. I don't think he's going to be sitting up there in the studio talking, you know, basketball. I think this is more like those taped segments that are going to be maybe like a 15-minute piece or something. That's kind of what I think, you know, and I wouldn't even be surprised if in a few of these things even bring back a Marvin Rashad or something. You know, I think this is more nostalgia, and I don't have a problem with it. You know, I would like to hear his opinion on certain aspects of the game today, his honest opinion. But anyway, so what you guys think about this?